The sun hung high over the endless desert, its golden light burning down on the small human settlement. The air shimmered with heat, and the sand stretched to the horizon like a sea of fire. The settlers had built their homes from metal and stone, simple structures that could withstand the desert winds. Life was hard, but humans were stubborn and resilient. They worked together, dug wells, and carried water from deep below the dry surface. Ryan, a boy of 15, moved quickly across the dunes, a small shovel in his hand. He liked to explore, even when the elders warned him that the desert held dangers no human had ever faced. Today, he was helping the workers dig a new well near the northern edge of the settlement. The sand was soft in some places, hard in others, but Ryan's small hands dug tirelessly. Sweat ran down his face, but he did not stop. As he dug deeper, something unusual caught his eye. A glimmer of yellow shone under the sand. Ryan paused and brushed away the grains with care. His heart began to beat faster. The glimmer was not ordinary metal, it was brighter, almost glowing. He reached in and pulled out a small fragment of gold. It was warm to the touch, and it seemed to hum softly, as if alive. Ryan ran to the elders. "I found something," he said, holding the fragment high. The elders gathered around. Mara, the oldest of the settlers, examined the piece with wide eyes. "This is not ordinary gold," she said. "It is older than anything we have ever seen." The other settlers came closer, curious. Even in their tired faces, excitement flickered. No one knew where the fragment had come from. The desert had been explored many times, but nothing like this had ever been found. Ryan could not contain his curiosity. He returned to the dig site and began to clear more sand. Soon, more golden fragments appeared. Each piece was unique, shaped like small plates, carved with strange symbols. The symbols looked like nothing Ryan had ever seen. They curved and twisted, forming patterns that almost seemed to move when the sunlight touched them. By evening, the workers had unearthed a small opening beneath the sand. The hole was larger than a man, lined with smooth stone. It disappeared into darkness. Ryan felt a shiver of excitement. He wanted to go inside, but Mara shook her head. "It is dangerous," she said. "We do not know what is down there." But the settlers were intrigued. They brought torches and ropes, and with careful steps, began to descend into the hidden chamber. The walls were covered in the same strange symbols as the golden fragments. The air was cool and dry, and the ground was smooth under their feet. At the center of the chamber, they found a large golden construct. It was tall, shaped like a standing figure, but it did not move. Its surface was polished and reflected the torchlight. Even the elders were silent as they stared at it. The construct seemed alive in some way, as if it had been waiting for someone to find it. Ryan stepped closer. He could not explain why, but he felt drawn to it. He reached out and touched the golden surface. A warmth spread through his fingers, and the construct seemed to hum softly. The symbols on its body glowed faintly, casting shadows across the chamber. The settlers gasped. "This is amazing," said Mara. "It is not just gold. It is a machine. But it is made for humans." Ryan looked at the others. They all felt the same sense of wonder. Something about this place was familiar, even though they had never seen it before. The construct was silent, yet it seemed to speak to them in a language beyond words. That night, the settlers camped near the chamber, unable to sleep. The desert was quiet, except for the soft wind that moved the sand across the dunes. Ryan could not stop thinking about the construct. What was it? Who had built it? And why did it respond only to humans? The next morning, Ryan returned to the chamber. He found more golden fragments scattered in the sand nearby. Each piece fit into the construct in a way that made sense, like puzzle pieces waiting to be assembled. The settlers realized that this was not a simple treasure. It was something much greater. It was a key to a story long forgotten. As they worked, the sky began to change. Dark shapes appeared in the distance, moving across the horizon. The settlers watched in silence. Ships of strange design approached, casting long shadows over the desert. The newcomers were not human. They moved with purpose and authority. Ryan felt a pang of fear, but also a strange excitement. The chamber, the golden fragments, the construct, it all seemed connected to this moment. Humans had discovered something ancient and powerful. And now, the desert held more than just sand and sun. It held secrets that could change everything. The newcomers landed not far from the settlement. They were tall, with armored suits and weapons that glinted in the sun. Their leader stepped forward and spoke in a harsh, unknown language. Mara tried to communicate, but it was clear the strangers did not want to negotiate. "They want the gold," said Ryan quietly. "But it belongs to us." Mara nodded. "We will protect it." Humans have always survived against the odds. This is no different. Ryan looked at the golden construct, now glowing softly in the morning light. He felt a surge of courage. Humans were small in the vast universe, but they were clever, brave, and determined. The desert had tested them before, and they had always prevailed. Now, with the golden construct as their secret, the settlers were ready for what came next. The challenge would be greater than anything they had faced. But they would not run. They would fight. And they would uncover the truth behind the ancient gold buried beneath the sand. Ryan smiled. Adventure awaited, and humans were ready. The desert sun rose slowly, casting long shadows over the settlement. The golden construct in the chamber glowed faintly as if it had sensed the presence of humans around it. Ryan could not sleep the night before. His mind raced with questions. Who had built this chamber? Why did the golden construct respond only to humans? And what secrets were buried beneath the desert sand? Mara, the elder, gathered the settlers early in the morning. "We must understand what we have found," she said. "This chamber is not ordinary. The golden construct is a gift from someone long ago. We must study it carefully." The settlers returned to the chamber, carrying torches, notebooks, and tools. They began to examine the walls and the floor. The stone walls were carved with strange symbols. Each line and curve seemed to tell a story, but none of the humans could read them. Ryan traced his fingers over the carvings. The stone felt smooth under his touch, as if polished by time. Near the entrance, a pile of golden fragments lay scattered. Ryan picked up a piece and examined it closely. Its shape was unusual, with lines and curves that seemed to fit together like a puzzle. When he held it near the construct, a soft light glowed where the fragment had been missing. The construct seemed to recognize the piece and welcomed it. "This is incredible," said Mara. "The construct is designed to accept these fragments. It wants us to complete it." Other settlers began finding more fragments buried in the sand around the chamber. Each piece had a unique pattern, and when connected to the construct, it glowed in soft waves of light. The humans realized that the golden fragments were not just treasure, they were keys. They were pieces of a puzzle left behind by an ancient civilization. While the settlers worked, Ryan explored the far corners of the chamber. He discovered small alcoves hidden behind stone walls. In each alcove, he found items made of gold and crystal, tools that looked both familiar and strange. Some resembled instruments humans had used long ago, while others seemed designed for purposes the settlers could not imagine. Ryan brought the items back to Mara. She examined them carefully. "These objects are part of the same ancient system," she said. "They were left for humans to find when the time was right. Whoever made this knew humans would be here, and that we could unlock it." As the day passed, the settlers continued their work. They assembled fragments and placed them on the construct. The golden figure began to take shape, its surface shining brighter with each piece added. It towered over the humans, elegant and powerful, yet welcoming. Ryan felt a strange sense of pride. Humans had found something that no one else could awaken. Suddenly, the ground trembled. A distant roar echoed across the desert, shaking the chamber walls. The settlers froze, looking at one another with wide eyes. Dust fell from the ceiling as the sound grew louder. Ryan's heart pounded. Outside the chamber, dark shapes moved across the dunes. The settlers rushed to the entrance and saw ships descending from the sky. They were unlike anything humans had seen. Sleek, metallic, and immense, the ships landed softly on the sand, kicking up clouds of dust. Tall figures emerged, their armor glinting in the sunlight. The aliens moved with purpose, scanning the settlement. Their eyes were sharp, their expressions unreadable. The humans had no idea who they were, but the air around them felt tense and dangerous. Mara stepped forward. "We do not want trouble," she said, her voice calm but firm. "This land is ours now. The chamber belongs to those who found it." The leader of the aliens raised a hand, and a translator device emitted a voice. "You are trespassing," it said. "The chamber is not yours. Leave immediately or face consequences." Ryan clenched his fists. "We did not trespass," he said quietly. "We live here. The chamber is part of our world now." The alien leader studied the humans for a long moment. Then he gestured, and the others moved closer. Their weapons glinted in the sun. The settlers felt fear rising, but they also felt determination. Humans had faced worse dangers than this. The desert had tested them for generations, and they had always survived. Ryan looked at the golden construct. It stood silently, but he sensed something had changed. The soft glow from the fragments grew brighter, and the symbols on its body pulsed with light. It was as if the construct understood the humans' courage and was ready to help. Mara turned to the settlers. "We must protect it," she said. "This is not just gold. It is our heritage and our future. Humans have always faced challenges and won. This will be no different." The humans prepared themselves. They did not have weapons as powerful as the aliens, but they had something stronger: courage, cleverness, and the unity of a community. They positioned themselves around the chamber, ready to defend it. Ryan approached the construct again. He placed his hand on its smooth surface. A warm sensation spread through his body, and the construct responded. Light flowed from it, forming shapes and patterns in the air. It was as if the construct was alive, waiting for humans to take the next step. The aliens hesitated, confused by the glowing figure. They had never seen a machine react to humans in this way. Their leader shouted orders, but the construct ignored them. Only humans could awaken its power. Ryan realized something important. The chamber, the golden fragments, and the construct were not just ancient relics. They were part of a system designed to test humans. Whoever had built it long ago believed humans were capable of greatness. And now, Ryan and the settlers were proving it. As the sun set, casting orange and red light over the desert, the humans stood together, ready for what was coming. The golden construct glowed brightly, a beacon of hope in the harsh desert. The aliens had arrived, but the settlers were not afraid. They had discovered a power that only humans could wield. Ryan smiled. Adventure was not finished. The desert had more secrets to reveal, and humans were ready to uncover them. They would face the aliens, protect the chamber, and learn the truth behind the ancient gold buried beneath the sand. The night fell, but the glow of the golden construct lit the desert. It was a promise that humans were not small or weak. They were clever, brave, and chosen for something greater. And the story of the ancient gold was only beginning to unfold. The morning sun blazed over the desert, making the golden construct shimmer even more brightly. Ryan stood near it, feeling the warmth radiate from the metal surface. The settlers had spent the night keeping watch. None had slept much. Outside the chamber, the strange alien ships remained, their shadows stretching across the sand like dark clouds. The aliens did not move, but their presence was heavy. The humans called them the Watchers because they only observed and waited. Their armor was smooth and silver, reflecting the sun. Their weapons looked advanced and powerful, far beyond anything the settlers could imagine. Yet, Ryan felt no fear. Humans had survived countless challenges, and this would be no different. Mara gathered the settlers in a circle near the chamber entrance. "We cannot fight them with strength alone," she said. "We must use our minds and our courage. Humans have always faced danger and overcome it. This is our test, and we will not fail." Ryan felt a spark of determination. He had seen the golden construct respond to human touch. The Watchers did not understand humans. They could not awaken the power hidden in the desert. Only humans could. That gave him hope. Suddenly, a loud sound echoed across the dunes. The Watchers' ships lifted slightly, kicking up sand. Their leader stepped forward. A translator device emitted a voice. "Humans," it said. "Step away from the chamber. The gold belongs to us. Leave now, or you will face destruction." Ryan clenched his fists. "We will not leave," he said. "This land is ours. The chamber belongs to those who found it. We discovered it, and we will protect it." The alien leader paused, studying the humans carefully. Then he gestured, and two Watchers moved closer, their weapons raised. The settlers prepared themselves. They had no advanced weapons, but they had tools, traps, and their courage. They had faced storms, sandworms, and hunger. They could face this too. Ryan approached the golden construct again. He placed both hands on its smooth surface. A soft light spread across the chamber, and the symbols carved into the metal began to glow. The construct hummed gently, as if recognizing Ryan and the humans around it. The settlers felt a sense of wonder and power. The Watchers hesitated. They had never seen a machine react like this. It did not respond to their touch or their technology. Only humans could awaken it. Their leader barked orders, but the Watchers did not understand why their weapons had no effect. Ryan looked at Mara. "It wants us to protect it," he said. "It is our ally. It is not just gold. It is alive in some way, and it chooses humans." Mara nodded. "We must be careful and clever. The Watchers are strong, but they do not understand us. We can use that." The settlers spread out, hiding behind rocks and dunes. They used ropes and pulleys to create barriers, slowing the Watchers' advance. Though the humans were smaller and weaker, they moved with speed and intelligence. They knew the desert better than anyone, and they used it to their advantage. Ryan returned to the construct. He placed a golden fragment into a slot on its chest. The construct responded instantly, and a bright beam of light shot toward the sky. The Watchers paused, shielding their eyes. The light formed shapes, symbols, and patterns. It was as if the construct was sending a message. The settlers realized that the golden construct was more than a machine. It could communicate, defend, and perhaps even teach them. Ryan felt a thrill of excitement. Humans had found something extraordinary, something the Watchers could never understand. The Watchers regrouped. Their leader raised his weapon, and energy pulses shot toward the chamber. Sand exploded into the air, and the settlers ducked for cover. Ryan stayed close to the construct. He touched it again, and the light from its surface expanded, forming a shield around the humans. The energy pulses from the Watchers bounced harmlessly off the glowing shield. "Keep it up," Mara shouted. "The construct will protect us if we work together." The settlers added more golden fragments to the construct. Each piece made the shield stronger. The symbols on the metal glowed brighter, forming intricate patterns that moved like waves across the desert floor. The watchers tried to approach, but every step they took was blocked by the glowing barrier. Ryan realized that the construct was responding to human thought as well as touch. It understood their courage, their determination, and their desire to protect the chamber. Humans were small, but their spirit was powerful. The watchers had strength, but humans had something stronger. Hours passed, and the watchers finally withdrew, hovering above the dunes but no longer attacking. Their leader spoke through the translator device. "Humans," the voice said. "You are stronger than we expected. The chamber is not yours yet, but you have proven yourselves. We will return." The settlers exhaled in relief. They had survived the first challenge. The desert was quiet again, and the golden construct continued to glow softly in the chamber. Ryan felt a new sense of purpose. Humans had awakened something ancient and powerful. They had faced a challenge greater than themselves and had not backed down. Mara gathered the settlers. "We have survived because we worked together," she said. "Humans have always faced danger and found a way. The Watchers are strong, but we have something they do not: unity, courage, and cleverness. We will protect this chamber, and we will learn its secrets." Ryan looked at the construct and smiled. It was more than gold. It was a guide, a protector, and a teacher. It chose humans because they were brave, clever, and persistent. The desert had given them a gift, and now it was their responsibility to use it wisely. That night, the settlers camped near the chamber again. The stars sparkled above the desert, and the golden construct glowed softly. Ryan could not sleep, but he did not feel fear. He felt excitement. Humans had discovered something ancient and powerful. They had faced the Watchers and survived. In the distance, the Watchers' ships disappeared over the dunes, but the humans knew they would return. They would have to be ready. The golden construct had shown them that humans were not weak, and that courage and intelligence could overcome even the greatest challenges. Ryan touched the construct one last time before sleeping. The warmth from the metal spread through his body. He felt connected to something larger than himself. The desert held secrets, and humans were meant to uncover them. They were clever, brave, and chosen for something greater. As the desert night grew quiet, the settlers knew one thing. The story of the Golden Chamber was only beginning. Humans had faced the Watchers and had proven that they could survive. The challenge ahead would be greater, but they were ready. The golden construct glowed softly in the darkness, a promise that humans were not ordinary. They were strong, intelligent, and brave. And the ancient gold buried beneath the sand had found its rightful guardians. Ryan closed his eyes and dreamed of adventure. The desert was vast, full of secrets and mysteries, but humans had proven that no challenge was too great. They were ready for the next step, and the Watchers would learn that humans were not to be underestimated. The desert was quiet in the early morning, but the air felt charged with energy. Ryan stood near the golden construct, watching the faint glow ripple across its surface. The Watchers had retreated for now, but their presence still lingered in the settlers' minds. Every shadow and every distant dune reminded them that the aliens could return at any moment. Ryan felt a strange pull toward the construct. It was more than metal and gold. It seemed alive, as if it waited for humans to unlock something hidden deep within. Mara watched him closely. She could feel the excitement and fear mixing in the air. The settlers were on the edge of something incredible, but no one yet understood how powerful it could be. Ryan knelt and placed his hands on the construct's surface. Warmth spread through his fingers, climbing his arms and filling him with a strange energy. The symbols on the construct began to glow brighter, pulsing in patterns that seemed almost like a heartbeat. He felt a voice, not in words, but in feeling. It spoke of courage, of cleverness, of humans rising to challenges that others could not face. Mara stepped closer. "Ryan," she said softly. "Do you feel it?" Ryan nodded. "It's alive. It's speaking to me." I don't understand the words, but I understand the meaning. It wants us to awaken it fully. The settlers gathered around. Each of them placed a hand on a golden fragment, and the construct responded to their combined touch. The glow spread across its entire body, brighter and warmer than ever. The chamber filled with light, and the symbols on the walls began to shift and move, forming images and patterns that told a story. The images showed humans on distant worlds, exploring, surviving, and building. They showed humans helping each other, facing danger, and overcoming impossible odds. Ryan realized that the construct was not only alive, it remembered humans. It remembered what humans had always been capable of and wanted to remind them of their potential. Suddenly, the construct lifted slightly from the ground. Its golden body shimmered like liquid sunlight, and its form became more dynamic, more humanoid. It moved as if it were breathing, and Ryan felt a wave of awe. The settlers stepped back, unsure whether to feel fear or wonder. The construct's glow created shadows that danced across the walls of the chamber, and the air seemed to hum with power. Ryan reached forward again. This time, when he touched the construct, it responded with a warmth that spread throughout the entire chamber. Symbols on its body shifted, forming a path of light toward the desert outside. The construct seemed to communicate that the next step required leaving the safety of the chamber and exploring the world beyond. Mara looked at Ryan. "It wants us to go outside," she said. "It wants to guide us. But the Watchers may return at any moment. We must be careful." The settlers prepared themselves. They carried supplies, torches, ropes, and tools. Ryan led the way, touching the construct as they moved. Wherever he placed his hand, the ground beneath them seemed to respond, forming a clear path through the dunes. The desert, harsh and endless, suddenly seemed a little less intimidating. The construct was not just a machine, it was a guide, a protector, and a teacher. As they reached the outer edge of the desert, the ground trembled slightly. Sand shifted and swirled around them, revealing hidden passages and tunnels beneath the surface. The settlers followed the glowing path, realizing that the desert held many secrets, waiting for humans to discover them. Ryan placed another golden fragment into a slot on the construct's chest. The construct responded immediately, lifting its arms and sending a beam of light into the sky. The light formed symbols that floated above the dunes. The settlers watched in awe as the symbols rotated and shifted, showing maps of distant planets, stars, and ancient structures. "It is showing us the universe," Mara whispered. "It wants us to explore. It wants humans to rise." Ryan felt a surge of excitement and responsibility. Humans were small, but they had something no other species possessed: courage, intelligence, and the ability to work together. The construct recognized that. It was awakening because humans had proven themselves worthy. Suddenly, the distant roar of engines echoed across the desert. The Watchers had returned. Their ships descended swiftly, kicking up clouds of sand and dust. Ryan and the settlers stood their ground, but this time, they did not feel fear. They felt determination. The construct glowed brighter than ever, forming a protective barrier around the humans. The Watchers raised their weapons, but the energy shield repelled their attacks. Pulses of light bounced off the barrier, protecting the settlers while warning the aliens that humans were no ordinary prey. Ryan touched the construct again, sending waves of light across the desert. The symbols on the construct's body shifted, showing strategies, warnings, and messages that only humans could understand. Mara turned to the settlers. "It is helping us," she said. "It is showing us how to protect ourselves. We have the advantage if we trust it." The Watchers hesitated. They had never encountered a force that responded only to humans. They tried to strike, but their weapons had no effect. Every attack was blocked, redirected, or neutralized by the golden construct. The settlers realized that the ancient machine was more than a protector, it was a weapon, a guide, and a teacher all in one. Ryan felt a deep connection to the construct. It was as if it could sense his thoughts, his fears, and his courage. He understood that the construct had waited for humans to prove themselves, and now it was ready to help them rise. The Watchers finally retreated, their ships hovering above the dunes but no longer attacking. Their leader spoke through the translator device. "Humans," the voice said. "You have awakened something unexpected. The chamber is not yours yet, but you are stronger than we imagined. We will return." The settlers exhaled in relief. They had survived the encounter, and the construct had shown its power. Humans were no longer ordinary. They were capable of awakening ancient forces, surviving against overwhelming odds, and understanding mysteries that others could not. That night, the settlers camped near the construct. The desert was quiet, but the golden machine continued to glow softly. Ryan touched it once more, feeling the warmth and energy flow through him. He realized that this was only the beginning. Humans had discovered something extraordinary, and the desert held even more secrets. Mara looked at Ryan and the other settlers. "Humans are clever, brave, and strong," she said. "The construct has awakened because we proved ourselves worthy. But there is more to learn. The Watchers will return, and we must be ready. Humans are not small or weak. We are capable of greatness." Ryan smiled. He felt a new sense of purpose. The golden construct had chosen them. It had shown them their potential. Humans were not ordinary beings in a vast universe. They were strong, intelligent, and capable of facing any challenge. As the desert night fell, the settlers knew one thing. The story of the golden chamber and the construct was only beginning. Humans had awakened something ancient, and the adventure ahead would reveal even greater mysteries. Ryan closed his eyes and dreamed of discovery. The desert was no longer just sand and sun. It was a world of secrets, challenges, and opportunities. Humans had awakened a power that belonged to them. They were clever, brave, and ready to rise. And the golden construct glowed softly, a promise that humans were chosen for something extraordinary. The desert morning was bright, but the air was tense. The settlers had spent the night planning and preparing. The golden construct glowed softly, a silent guardian standing in the center of the chamber. Ryan and the others knew that the Watchers would return. They had proven humans could awaken the ancient machine, and the aliens would not forget it. Mara gathered the settlers. "We have faced storms, hunger, and beasts in this desert. This is no different. The Watchers are strong, but humans are clever. We will defend the chamber and the construct. Trust in yourselves and in each other." Ryan looked at the golden construct. Its surface pulsed with a warm light, almost like a heartbeat. He felt connected to it in a way he could not explain. The construct had chosen humans, and now it would help them face the coming challenge. Hours passed, and the first signs of the Watchers appeared on the horizon. Their ships emerged from the heat waves, dark and enormous, casting long shadows across the desert. The settlers could hear the low hum of their engines and the sharp glint of metal in the sunlight. The Watchers were not approaching slowly this time. They were coming to attack. Ryan took a deep breath. "Stay calm. Remember what we learned. The construct is with us." The Watchers landed, and their weapons began to glow. Energy beams shot toward the chamber, kicking up clouds of sand. The settlers ducked behind rocks and dunes. Ryan touched the golden construct again. A shield of light spread outward, stopping the energy beams in midair. The Watchers fired again, but each attack was blocked or deflected. Mara shouted instructions. "Use the desert. Hide, move, and confuse them. Work together, and we can protect the chamber." The settlers moved quickly, using ropes and pulleys to create barriers in the sand. They dug trenches, hiding their positions, and lured the Watchers into traps. Humans were small, but they were clever. They knew the desert better than any alien invader could. Ryan stayed close to the construct. He added more golden fragments to its chest. Each piece made the shield stronger and expanded the glowing patterns across the desert. The symbols on the construct's body pulsed, forming waves of light that pushed the watchers back. It was clear that the machine responded to humans' courage and determination. The watchers were confused. Their weapons had no effect on the glowing shield. They tried to land troops on the sand, but the light from the construct kept them away. The settlers realized that the construct was not just defending them, it was learning from them. It was responding to their strategy, guiding their movements, and amplifying their strength. Ryan shouted to the settlers. "Move forward. Follow the construct's light." The humans pressed closer to the chamber. The golden construct lifted slightly, and beams of light shot across the desert, forming walls and barriers that blocked the watchers' advance. Sandstorms whipped around the ships, as if the desert itself had joined the fight. The watchers struggled to maintain control, and their troops were forced to retreat under the pulsing shields of light. Mara turned to Ryan. "Keep going. Place the fragments where they belong. The construct will protect us if we finish it." Ryan ran from fragment to fragment, placing each one in its slot on the construct. With each addition, the machine's power grew. Light spread farther, covering the dunes and forming a protective barrier around the settlement. The Watchers' ships recoiled from the glowing walls, their energy weapons ineffective against the golden force. The settlers worked tirelessly, moving as one. They were small, but their courage was immense. Each person played a role, digging, blocking, guiding, and fighting. The desert, which had once been harsh and empty, became a battlefield that favored the humans. They were clever, brave, and determined to survive. Ryan touched the construct one last time. The symbols on its body shifted into a bright, swirling pattern. A beam of energy shot into the sky, forming shapes that the Watchers could not understand. It was a warning, a declaration that humans were not weak. The Watchers hesitated, unsure how to respond. Mara watched the aliens. "They are strong, but they are not clever enough. Humans have something they will never understand. Our unity, courage, and cleverness are our greatest weapons." The Watchers finally began to retreat. Their ships rose slowly, leaving the desert with a low hum. They had lost the battle for the chamber, but it was clear they would return. The settlers knew this, but they also knew they had proven something important. Humans could face even the most powerful enemies and survive. Ryan looked at the golden construct. It stood tall and glowing, its body pulsing with light. The machine had defended the humans, guided them, and amplified their courage. It was more than a guardian. It was a teacher, a protector, and a reminder that humans were capable of extraordinary things. Mara gathered the settlers. "Today, we have survived against a power far greater than ourselves. We have proven that humans are clever, brave, and strong. The desert and the construct have chosen us for a reason. We must continue to protect it and learn its secrets." The settlers nodded, feeling a sense of pride and unity. They had faced a threat that could have destroyed them, but they had not backed down. The golden construct had shown them that humans were not ordinary. They were special. That night, the desert was quiet again. The golden construct glowed softly, casting a warm light across the dunes. Ryan touched it once more, feeling the warmth and energy flow through him. He realized that humans had discovered a power that had been waiting for them for thousands of years. The desert held secrets, but humans were ready to uncover them. Mara looked at Ryan and the other settlers. "The Watchers will return, but we are ready. Humans are clever, brave, and capable of great things. The golden construct has awakened because we proved ourselves worthy. This is only the beginning." Ryan smiled. Adventure was no longer a dream. It was real. The desert, the construct, and the golden fragments were part of something much greater than themselves. Humans were not ordinary beings in the universe. They were chosen, capable, and ready to rise to any challenge. The settlers slept that night near the chamber, confident in their strength and courage. The golden construct glowed softly, a beacon of hope and power. Humans had survived the first storm of sand and fire, and they knew that more challenges awaited. But they also knew they were ready. The desert was vast and full of secrets. The Watchers had tested them, but humans had proven their cleverness and bravery. The golden construct had awakened, and the adventure of discovery was only beginning. Ryan closed his eyes, dreaming of the future. The desert was no longer just sand and sun. It was a world of mysteries, challenges, and possibilities. Humans were clever, brave, and chosen for something extraordinary. And the golden construct would guide them through it all. The desert dawn was calm, the wind gentle over the dunes. The golden construct stood tall in the chamber, its surface pulsing with a steady, warm glow. Ryan and the settlers gathered around it, eager to learn more. The Watchers had retreated, but their presence lingered as a reminder that humans were not alone in the universe. Ryan placed his hands on the construct again. Warmth spread through him, and the symbols carved into its body glowed brighter than ever. Slowly, they began to shift, forming images that the settlers could understand. The golden machine was revealing its story. Mara stepped forward, eyes wide with wonder. "It is showing us our past," she whispered. The images unfolded like a tapestry. They showed a distant world, older than any human settlement. A powerful race, wise and advanced, moved among planets and stars. They built cities of light and machines that could shape reality. And among them, humans appeared. The images showed humans being guided, protected, and nurtured. Ryan felt a shiver of awe. "Humans were chosen," he said. "We were not always alone." The construct's symbols shifted again. They showed seeds being sown across worlds, humans being placed in different environments to grow, to learn, and to survive. It became clear that the ancient race had lifted humanity from Earth and scattered them among the stars. The golden construct was a part of this plan, a guardian left behind to awaken when humans were ready. Mara's voice trembled with emotion. "We are the heirs of this ancient race. They trusted us to survive, to discover, and to rise. The chamber, the fragments, the construct, they were all left for us to find." Ryan looked around at the settlers. They were a small group, but they carried the weight of this incredible truth. Humans were not ordinary wanderers in the universe. They were the chosen descendants of a civilization older and wiser than anyone could imagine. The construct pulsed with light, and the images shifted again. This time, they showed humans facing challenges across planets: storms, hunger, predators, and war. Yet, in every image, humans survived, adapted, and thrived. The message was clear: humans had always been capable of overcoming the impossible. Ryan felt a surge of pride. Humans were clever, brave, and resilient. The ancient race had known it all along, and now the construct was revealing the truth. It was not just a machine. It was a guide, a teacher, and a reminder of humanity's potential. The settlers studied the images carefully. They saw humans building civilizations, exploring the stars, and learning from the world around them. They realized that the desert chamber was only one part of a much larger story. Humans were meant to explore, to grow, and to discover their own greatness. Suddenly, the construct extended a part of itself, forming a holographic map of distant stars and planets. The symbols showed locations where humans had been placed, worlds where they had survived, and places of knowledge left behind by the ancient race. It was a guide to the universe, a path for humans to follow and uncover the secrets of their heritage. Mara spoke, her voice full of wonder. "This is more than a treasure. It is a gift. It is a guide for humans to rise and reach their potential." Ryan nodded. "The Watchers will not understand this. They see humans as weak, but we are not. We were chosen for a reason. We are capable of great things. The settlers realized that the golden construct had awakened because humans had proven themselves. They had survived the desert, faced the Watchers, and worked together to unlock its power. It was a test, and they had passed. Now, the construct was showing them the truth about their origin and the future that awaited them. Ryan placed another golden fragment into the construct. Light spread across its body, and a new set of images appeared. This time, the images showed the Watchers, their ships moving across planets, searching for the chamber. They were powerful, but they did not understand humans or the ancient guidance humans had received. Mara looked at Ryan. The Watchers will return, but now we know who we are. We are humans, clever, brave, and chosen. The construct will help us defend ourselves and our future. Ryan felt a deep connection to the machine. He realized that it was not just protecting them, it was teaching them. The golden construct had waited for humans to prove themselves worthy, and now it was guiding them to their destiny. The settlers spent hours studying the chamber and the images. They learned about the ancient race, their technology, and their wisdom. They saw how humans had been placed in different worlds to grow strong and resourceful. They understood that the golden construct was a reminder of their potential and a guide to the stars. Mara turned to the settlers. We are not just survivors. We are humans with a purpose. The ancient race believed in us, and now it is our responsibility to continue their legacy. We must explore, protect, and rise. Ryan felt a surge of determination. Humans had always faced challenges, but now they had knowledge, guidance, and power. The desert chamber was only the beginning. The universe was vast, and humans were meant to explore it, uncover its secrets, and rise to greatness. The golden construct pulsed warmly, as if agreeing with him. It had chosen humans for their courage, intelligence, and unity. Now it would help them face the future and unlock their full potential. As the sun set over the desert, the settlers gathered around the construct. The golden light bathed them, and they felt connected to something larger than themselves. They were not ordinary. They were humans, chosen to rise, explore, and discover the truth of their heritage. Ryan placed his hand on the construct one last time for the day. The warmth spread through him, filling him with energy and hope. Humans had unlocked a secret that had waited for thousands of years. The Watchers had tested them, but humans had passed. Mara smiled. This is only the beginning. The universe is waiting. We have discovered our past, and now we must face the future. Humans are capable of great things, and the golden construct will guide us. The settlers knew the truth now. Humans were not weak, ordinary beings. They were the heirs of an ancient civilization, chosen for their courage, cleverness, and resilience. The desert chamber, the golden fragments, and the construct were reminders of that truth. That night, the settlers camped near the chamber. The golden construct glowed softly, a promise of guidance and protection. Ryan lay under the stars, dreaming of adventure. Humans had a history more incredible than they had ever imagined, and now they had a future full of possibilities. The Watchers might return, but humans were ready. They had survived, learned, and unlocked the truth. The desert held more secrets, and the universe awaited. Humans were clever, brave, and chosen for something extraordinary. The golden construct pulsed softly in the quiet night, a symbol of hope, power, and knowledge. Humans had discovered their heritage, and the story of the ancient gold buried beneath the sand was far from over. Ryan closed his eyes, knowing that humans were no longer small or ordinary. They were special, capable, and ready to rise. The desert, the construct, and the golden fragments had shown them the truth. Humans were meant for greatness, and their journey had only just begun. The desert sky glowed in shades of gold and red as the sun rose over the dunes. Ryan stood near the golden construct, feeling its warmth and power. The settlers were ready. They had learned the truth of their heritage, discovered their strength, and unlocked the guidance of the ancient machine. Today would be a test like no other. The Watchers appeared on the horizon again, their ships dark and imposing. This time, they came not to warn but to challenge. Their weapons glinted in the sunlight, and their armored forms moved with precision. They had underestimated humans before, and now they wanted to reclaim what they believed was theirs. Ryan felt a surge of courage. "We are ready," he said. "The construct is with us. Humans are clever, brave, and strong. We will not back down." Mara gathered the settlers. "Today, we prove ourselves," she said. "The desert has tested humans for generations. We have survived storms, hunger, and enemies. Now we face the Watchers, and we will show them the strength of humanity." The settlers took their positions around the chamber. Each person carried tools, ropes, and supplies. They were small compared to the Watchers, but their courage and unity gave them an advantage the aliens could not understand. Ryan touched the construct. Its surface pulsed brightly, and a wave of energy spread across the desert. The symbols on its body shifted into patterns of light that protected the humans. The golden machine had fully awakened. It was not just a guardian, it was a partner. The Watchers fired their energy weapons, and sand exploded into the air. The settlers ducked behind dunes, but the construct's shield absorbed every attack. Light formed walls and barriers that blocked the aliens' advance. Ryan realized that the construct was responding to their movements, guiding them, and amplifying their courage. Mara shouted instructions. "Use the desert to our advantage. Move quickly, hide, and strike when they hesitate." The settlers moved as one, working together with the construct. They set traps, guided the Watchers into the dune's natural curves, and used their knowledge of the terrain to outsmart their attackers. Every move the humans made was supported by the construct's glowing energy. The Watchers were strong, but humans were clever, and cleverness could defeat power. Ryan placed the last golden fragment into the construct. Light exploded from its chest, forming a brilliant wave that swept across the desert. The Watchers were pushed back, their ships lifted off the sand, and their troops retreated under the force of the construct's energy. The settlers watched in awe as the golden machine stood tall, protecting them and showing the full extent of its power. Mara turned to the settlers. "We have done it. Humans have survived because we worked together and trusted each other. The desert, the construct, and our courage have proven that humans are extraordinary." Ryan looked at the glowing figure. It pulsed warmly, almost like it was smiling. He felt a connection deeper than anything he had experienced. Humans had awakened something ancient, and in doing so, they had proven that they were capable of greatness. The Watchers hovered at a distance, their ships still powerful but clearly cautious. Their leader spoke through the translator device. "Humans," the voice said, "you have shown strength, cleverness, and courage. The chamber is not lost to us, but we see now that you are no ordinary beings. We will leave, for now." Ryan felt a surge of pride. Humans had faced a species far stronger than themselves and had survived. The golden construct had guided them, but it was their courage, intelligence, and unity that had made victory possible. Mara gathered the settlers. "Today, humans have proven something incredible. We are clever, brave, and capable of anything. The golden construct has awakened because we earned it. We are not ordinary. We are humans, and our story is just beginning." The desert was quiet again. The golden construct continued to glow, its light casting a warm reflection across the dunes. The settlers walked among the glowing patterns, feeling connected to something ancient and powerful. Humans were not just survivors, they were chosen to rise, explore, and discover their full potential. Ryan placed his hand on the construct one last time for the day. The warmth spread through him, and he felt a sense of purpose unlike anything before. Humans were clever, brave, and resilient. They had survived storms, hunger, and enemies. Now, they had the guidance of the construct and the knowledge of their heritage. The universe awaited, and humans were ready to rise. Mara looked at Ryan and the settlers. We have defended the chamber, unlocked the construct, and faced the Watchers. We know who we are, and we know what humans can achieve. The desert has tested us, and we have passed. This is our new dawn. The settlers stood together, feeling the glow of the construct around them. They were small in the vast universe, but they carried the strength, intelligence, and courage of their species. Humans had always survived challenges that seemed impossible. Now, they had proven that they could face anything. The Watchers withdrew, leaving the desert in silence. But the settlers did not fear them. They had awakened the golden construct, learned the truth of their past, and proven their strength. Humans were no longer ordinary wanderers, they were chosen, clever, and brave. Ryan looked to the horizon. The desert stretched endlessly, filled with secrets and mysteries. The golden construct had shown them that humans were capable of greatness, and the adventure ahead was only beginning. The settlers knew that the universe was vast, with worlds to explore, challenges to face, and knowledge to uncover. Humans had survived the desert, the Watchers, and the awakening of the ancient construct. They had proven their courage and intelligence. Now, they were ready to rise to their destiny. The golden construct glowed softly in the quiet night, a symbol of hope, protection, and guidance. Humans had unlocked the secrets of their past and proven themselves worthy of the ancient machine. The desert had given them a gift, and they would carry it forward. Ryan closed his eyes, dreaming of discovery. Humans had survived, grown, and awakened something extraordinary. The desert, the golden construct, and the fragments had shown them that they were clever, brave, and chosen for greatness. As the first stars appeared in the sky, the settlers felt a sense of peace and purpose. Humans were not ordinary. They were capable of facing any challenge, exploring the universe, and uncovering the secrets of the stars. The golden construct had chosen them, and now they had proven that they were ready. The desert night was quiet, but the glow of the construct promised adventure, discovery, and greatness. Humans had survived, awakened, and risen. Their story was just beginning. The ancient gold buried beneath the sand had found its rightful guardians, and the universe would soon learn that humans were clever, brave, and extraordinary. Ryan smiled, feeling the warmth of the construct and the strength of his people. Humans were ready. They were clever, brave, and chosen. The new dawn had arrived, and the adventure of the stars awaited.